Hey, what is going on this week, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Mike Fowler, aka Cousin Cecil. Hope you had a good week. Hopefully you had a good Mother's Day. Hopefully you treated your mama right. Even if you are a mom, which I know I have tons of mothers listening to this. Hopefully you were felt appreciated. Hopefully you got some just some things and all that fun jazz. Maybe I do have some gaming ones. Judging by my numbers, no, I don't. But yeah, hopefully you got to feel fun, have a great weekend. For Michigan-wise, because that's where I'm at. The weather's been topsy-turvy, but we're getting into the warm months, so prepare and all that fun jazz. And then, basically, we'll get into it more because I'm going to try to do this slow because honestly, let's go behind the veil. My favorite words to talk about when I'm talking about shit that's not on the air. But long story short, like I've been doing, I'm going to have, there's been a little bit of a skip of a week of extra episodes. I know I like doing them. Of course, the numbers don't show it, or people who want to listen to me talk to people. But just some hop skips and pushbacks. So this Wednesday will be cleared from any other new episode, like bonus episodes, but they're still coming down the pipe. Just one in particular just had to push back. And then obviously dealing with Mother's Day, which I know, if you know me, I'm recording right now, but it's just because it's 9 o'clock at night and a little bit of just me to get this done with. And then the day this comes out is my son's birthday, and just obviously setting that up and all that stuff. So just things got a little pushed around because, old Cousin Cecil, we like to play it fast and loose and do stuff on Monday, like Sunday, to be put out on Monday. But yeah, and then more for before we get in like those news. This week, obviously, we're also going to review Black Cotton issue 2. I was able to get that way early. Thank you, Brian Hawkins, for the one. Obviously, the whole team, but of course, Brian was the one that sent me the copy. We'll get into that at the end. And, I want to actually also unpack this, man. This week for news, which we'll get into, Giant Bomb, apparently, long story short, without saying it like mean or like rough, it's like, it's being dismantled so much because of a new, like, mother company has obtained them, I think. But Brad Shoemaker, Alex Navarro, and now I'm going to have a bad trouble saying his last name, but Vinny Cavallera, they're all stepping down from their positions in Giant Bomb. And so basically, if you've been a Giant Bomb fan for the past 10 plus years, you kind of know them. Like me. When I heard the news, I was kind of shocked and floored in the sense of like, it felt sad. I was sad. I'm like thinking like, I look forward to Giant Bomb every year for Game of the Year. I love those big 4-hour discussion podcasts. I love their personalities and just more. It was just sad to see because it's like watching an end of an era. And like, it's not like Giant Bomb itself is not gone in the sense of it's the name, because Jeff Gerstmann's still staying there, of course, because he's the main guy. And he just said, hopefully y'all will stick around. But like right now, to my knowledge, the only people at Giant Bomb right now is Jeff, Jan, Rory, Jason Oltstriker, and then I think Jeff Bacalard came over to help with this. But basically, how he said it on the bombcast that kind of had this whole direction. He said, "This is definitely going to be one of our first times doing this idea of like they're going to actually stop the car, change the tires, and get back on the highway, compared to like before, like like that the paraphrasing of like trying to change a tire while it's still driving." So Giant Bomb basically this week, it's the last week, and like whoever did the music for the last like stream, which they did a see you next game stream. It was very fun to watch and all that stuff. But somebody put the goddamn Charlie Pluth "See You Again," the Paul Walker song from Fast and Furious, and it is sad because it's like one of those like things I wish to be a fly on the wall to understand why they're leaving, because also like it could be just a change of ideas. Fear could be just from the idea of like you're getting older, like how Vinny was talking about. He's like his son's gonna be 9 or 10, and obviously we got to hear through the whole time he's been there this or that, and this has been really tough on him to be trying to be sailing a ship on an internet site in today's time. So it was just really hard to hear. I'm obviously wishing everyone the best of luck for their next endeavors, for Brad, Vinny, and Alex. And just more, I'm just saying this as a person who's in my basement doing a video game podcast with nerd culture, side projects. If Jeff Gersman ever hears this, maybe obviously I'm here for the ride with him, because Giant Bomb is a pillar in my video game journalistic critiquing of of that. But yeah, it is sad to hear, man. It's so bad. It's so rough for me to think about. Just probably more about other shit too, and just my life and all that stuff. Like it's like a whatever. But yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. Good luck to Giant Bomb. You're awesome. But let's get into more what I've been playing this week, and we'll get to the news and all that fun jazz and review Black Cotton. What I've been playing. I've been playing some Fortnite, of course. This week we got the new PS Plus new games. And so we got the PS5 version of Wreckfest, which is a racing game that is more of more arcadey in the words of like some people were talking about like Xbox, like if it makes them think about like playing Forza Horizon, which I've never played, because this one's definitely more arcadey, and then more thinking about like actual demolition races, or like it's like you're meant to bump and bang your car, and actually shows damage, and like there's actual demolition derbies. And like there's also special vehicles, like there's even like a lawnmower demolition derby moment. I played one that involves like playing as a tricycle bus demolition derby going against like real school I'm more coming to say it's pretty fun. And I would also say I wouldn't have bought this if it wasn't for free. And I think it's been a really good mindless brain, like no turn your brain off and race game for me. Has been very fun. I am maybe halfway through. Nope, I just opened the third thing. So yep, about halfway through with the career, and I've heard the trophies are pretty obtainable. Besides what I tried to play some multiplayer. Not that I couldn't find a game, but it was hard, and I was trying to play. Maybe I can do a demolition derby and get 20 matches done, so I can 20 win matches on the multiplayer. But no, but maybe also I can find a moment in time, maybe create a little server, not a private game, and then get the 20 done out that way too. I also just want to say it out there, I played also some of another PS Plus game, Stranded Alone, which is basically a survival game that you are in a plane crash and you end up on an island, and then it's a survival game, no less. You learn how to, create a little knife, you create campfire, blah, blah, blah. And the shtick of this one compared to other ones is also, you might be on like the first island you're on is maybe 20 foot by a circle, like a circumference, so a 20 foot, maybe 24 foot diameter. But you have also your inflatable boat you got from, crashing from a plane. And you get to travel to other islands around and also go searching for materials and stuff. And there's some random boxes that are from the plane crash, and also little things to go search around to help survival. It seems pretty fun. I also only played long enough to collect enough for a campfire, a tent, shelter, and I did one little bit of exploring on one of the things you see out in the distance, and I went back, and I just, all right, I'll come back to this. Not say it's bad, I just obviously was just not at the moment wanting to play anymore. I think it has a little bit of the clunkiness of, I don't know, I think it's Unity. I think it's the Unity engine. There feels a little slight delay on what you want to do in your commands. But that's here nor there. It doesn't bother me. Just the idea, I'm like, huh. I just felt it. And then also one more thing was I also was able to purchase Star Wars Republic Commandos because of May the 4th. It got me the itch. And Republic Commandos, of course, just had that re-release for PS5 and Switch. Or PS4 and Switch, whatever. And I'm in the second mission of, when let's backpack that too. The second mission's also after a whole 2 hour mission. The first mission's 2 hours, or an hour if you're hauling ass and you're not having trouble, because the game was one of those difficult ones. So I don't want to say I'm on the second mission when it was a long. The first mission is fucking lengthy. The second mission is obviously involves the spaceship with the lizard enslavers, and it is very difficult in a good way, like that classic difficult. But it's very fun. I'm also obviously going to push through it. It's pretty fun. I would recommend it if you've never played it. Just of course it has that old school first-person shooter control scheme. You press R3 for the scope, and you have to press it again to get out of the scope. Jump is triangle, so obviously the top button of your controller. Just some old things that haven't changed, but I'm very impressed some more how much dialogue was back then. Granted, there were some moments one of the missions could be, or one of the chapter, one of the moments of the game, it could be from loading, and then the next time they're going to load, it could be just it could be a, from here to the other side of the map could be a load, and you're like, man, I don't remember all these loading screens back then, but you feel it now. And I just think it's funny to feel that old school, because this is, Republic Commandos came out in the original Xbox and PS2 time frame. But yeah, that's basically me for that. And I also picked up, which I'm not going to discuss more than because of the Golden Week sale, I also got Pixel Junk Monsters 2 for very cheap. And it's just a tower defense game that I really enjoyed the first one, and I just want to get the second one because it has a more of a a huge upgrade in the visuals. There's more. You can also go down to over the shoulder style of running around the little map to protect your babies. But yeah, and then that's about it for me. And then also one more thing, because I'm just now looking at my notes for the week. Before we get into the gaming news, I also want to say, because I've been doing comic stuff. This week, the comic world kind of lost an artist named John Paul Leon. He passed away May 2nd after a 14-year battle with cancer. And he's touched other like almost every style of artist. Like he's done work for Marvel, he's done work for DC. Of course, he has his own independent stuff, and it's hard for me to like go into like, oh, if you've seen this, you know this. Like the most current, like he actually had like a DC cover. He just did for Constantine's Dream World or Sandman Universe fucking book. He just had recent art for that. He has a really unique, not unique, yes, it is unique. He has a unique style of his own, but obviously it's like that. It's very, you can tell now after seeing his art now for the past couple of days it was when he passed, and then just seeing like, boom, oh, that's his style. Now you will see his style now every time I go. I'm like, okay, there's another John Paul Leon piece. And then I'm not going to put it on here because it's probably way past now, but the last thing I saw was the comics community was retweeting his, there was a GoFundMe for, long story short, just for funeral expenses so that his daughter didn't have to probably use any of her like trust or savings for it. That's all his one of his last wishes were. Again, I'm just more saying for the family, I'm sorry for you guys' loss. Of course, he's touched many lives, but yeah, I don't know how to else finish it besides rest in peace and all that stuff. But after that, we can get into the news, which is basically, it started off this week that PlayStation is partnering with Discord starting next year. We didn't get that much information besides the idea of some speculations from people, but they just said, yeah, we're going to use Discord services to improve the PlayStation party chats and all that fun jazz. And then, so, analyzers and obviously influencers started talking like, oh, this could be a way so that PlayStation has an improved cross-platform chat. And I don't know, honestly, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a little old on this idea. I don't know how much more Discord can improve for the chat because I've never had that much trouble with it. But it is cool to know that people who use Discord are happy that Discord is getting PlayStation stuff. That doesn't cut away that Xbox already has Discord features. They just now have a small, I think they actually put a little bit into the Discord, like, stocks. So they have a small, nothing majority, but like, small percentage of Discord now. So business shit. And it's so early that I'm not even going to like try to explain it to you more than, hey, it sounds like they are going to try to improve cross-platform chat with PlayStation. And I'm also going to move this one down to the bottom. But Konami stepped away from E3. Nothing more than they're just not ready to present anything yet now. But Square Enix and Bandai Namco and more like even Verizon are coming and now are confirmed to come to this online-only E3 with more announcements and big announcements even from everybody. So that's cool to hear. Obviously, I'm very excited. I'm excited for even the Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley. I'm excited. They also had news this week was like Gamescom is going to be online again, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, we're getting into the best time for being a gamer, which is summertime with the presentations. Because I'm a big fan of I love the hype. I love announcements. I like them more than sometimes even just playing the fucking game. Because that's just a moment in time where they try their best to, win us, and it works majority of the time for me. But, yeah. We're looking forward to that coming this summer. Ubisoft got a new free-to-play game coming from the Division universe. They're going to have the studio Red Storm, which is another usual Tom Clancy studio of theirs. is working on The Division Heartland. Out, it says late 2021, but I'm pretty confident it's probably going to be out in 2022. It's apparently in the Division universe, but just obviously in a different location. It is also Ubisoft is using this is a great entryway if you want to get into the Division universe because you don't have to know anything that happened previously. And then it's very interesting to see so many of these little free-to-play things coming up. Like we have Warzone, which is, of course, Battle Royale, but you know what I mean? It's an entryway to get into the Call of Duty franchise. The Division now is taking the next helm of this. So, yeah, I mean, of course, I wish there was more news about it, but that's basically it. And then another announcement is from the whole, I want to say it's Team Dragon. The people that make Judgment and Yakuza. Long story short, there's going to be a new Judgment game called Lost Judgment. It's coming to all consoles. There's no it's not going to come early to PlayStation, which is a very interesting thing people are saying because of obviously how usually Japan is with Xbox. But I think the people are nailing it on the head. The influencers, they're saying, well, you know, Sega has been, if anything, Sega is the closest Japanese company that's closest to Xbox in the long run because of, you know, the old rumors of, you know, Microsoft was going to buy Sega. But we're going to have Lost Judgment coming. And then they also announced that the Yakuza series is going to stick to the new turn-based style that 7 has brought to the series. And it will not go back to the old school arcade brawler that they used to have through 1 through 6 Yakuza. Judgment is going to be the one with the classic brawler style that you're used to with Yakuza. And now the Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is 7, is going to be the turn-based style moving forward. Again, I have not heard anybody really complain that the Yakuza's Like a Dragon's battle system is bad. So it's probably just feels, I won't call it refreshing because it's turn-based, but the idea of they must have been hitting some things in the making of 7. They're like, man, we could do this again and it might be even more cooler next time. So I'm looking forward to, I need to also get into Yakuza 7, but I say a lot of shit and I love to play it, but obviously just about timing. And then let's get into the more bigger thing that seems very interesting before we get into reviewing something very cool. This week is obviously the first couple talks of the Epic versus Apple trial. And long story short, it has been the top tier tea spilling of the week. News of PlayStation is the only service provider that requires Epic to pay them to do cross-platform gameplay. So basically, it shows that it makes it look like PlayStation was the big bully that says, no, you have to give us some of your earnings from all the stores for us to do the cross-platform with us, buddy. So that was also shown, and then it also showed some. It's kind of rough for Xbox, but they'll go with good. Obviously, Tom Sweeney from Epic's email says they're really hoping that Xbox can figure out the basic cloud, xCloud gameplay style and shit. But they also have the receipts showing Game Pass is not profitable yet, and Xbox as a whole has never been profitable for Microsoft since the original Xbox at all. They've always been last in the sense of never making a profit off of it, which is very surprising, especially during the 360 era. But, yep, that was one of the bigger tea spills. They basically just said Microsoft uses Xbox as a tax write-off. How would I feel about that? I mean, I don't like that it's coming, and this is all this shit coming out of like a trial. Like it's just like boom, we're gonna show paperwork after paperwork. It's of course better to always have the actual companies tell you this from their word of mouth. But I think it also hopefully on both sides this will humble some of the more extreme fans that will hit you with over the head with a dead horse about Game Pass, about how well it's making money for Microsoft, which again, when my show comes out, they have plenty of time to say, "Oh no, I knew it was not being good, blah 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 blah." But you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just chill it out, and let's just enjoy games. But also, like, I do not like before this week, which I think I talked about last week. I just didn't like that Returnal's biggest shtick from podcasting that was not directly PlayStation centric was, is it worth $70? Well, apparently none of their games are worth $70. That's why they do Game Pass. But again, we'll look. I think there's going to be more talks this week about with the trial. I just said small snippets. There was a lot more shit. There was even like emails of like a lot of stuff. But also for my verdict, judging what they're saying and what they're bringing up, I'll be very surprised if Apple has to change anything of their policies moving forward after this trial. I think this might go into more. I'm not saying like that what it is, but Epic might get a little bit of egg on their face, and this might go more into their deficit, which was revealed on here. Like they're almost at $1 billion in deficit of running the Epic Game Store and all that stuff. So, of course, court's not a pretty penny either. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll see how it goes down the road, but I'd be very shocked if it goes against Apple in the presentation that they are laying right now. Could be a lot more. There's a lot more evidence, quote unquote evidence, and it's just a big Ace Attorney trial in that courtroom, I bet. Oof. But all right, that was basically it for gaming wise. I mean, like we are just cracking open the door of 2021's games. I don't think I've said it on the show. I am very interested in Biomutant for the end of the week or month, and the day that this comes out, May 10th, Hood. This is a multiplayer game that's 4v4, but also there's you're in a map full of NPCs of like, you're two groups of outlaws trying to steal the gold from like, Robin Hood style from the rich to the poor shit, except you're trying to kill each other so you get the gold. And you have to take keys from like NPC night guards and all that stuff. It looks really good, but I've heard it's in that weird. Again, Focus Entertainment's making it. It's only $30. So I like knowing that there are, the price is low so you have your expectations low. But yeah, we're getting in there, and we'll see how it goes. Wish I had a little bit more money. These comics are expensive too. But before we get into I don't know, we'll go into it. We'll see. I want to talk about even what I've been fucking reading, because I'm just more also highlighting some things that I saw. Last week's Hot Picks, I believe I said Eve. I just want to more touch base. That Eve comic was really fucking good from Boom Studios. Kudos to them. Now I can at least explain what it was. Long story short, it has probably a really great hook style of getting the story out there, but it involves this little girl, because the cover got me interested. It showed a girl and with an animated teddy bear, like, sailing the waters, the book. Turns out, long story short, it's this girl Eve was in one of those Matrix fucking tubes of water, or the Star Wars like healing tubes like Luke Skywalker had, and gets woken up. She's 11 years old, and that teddy bear is an android that can reshape himself to look like that, to find out that hey, you are you have to go get your dad. Your dad's not here, but your dad has prepared you with this simulation that you've been living in for a long time in this tube. Long story short, you are going to save the world because the world has been suffering from climate change and involved like the character starts in New York, but obviously New York's underwater. So like she's living on top, like, you know, on a top of skyscraper, which you didn't know until later. But it ends with the idea like, no, we're going to do the, apparently this guy who wrote it has done a really great job. I wish I had the story in front of me, but I want just more give kudos without breaking into what I'm going to talk about later about Black Cotton. But it's kind of really neat about this global warming, like the effects. And then they're going to do this. They even say it. You know the story of Johnny Appleseed, which has a little bit of truth to the, you know, the tale. We're going to do that, but with these special trees. And that it ends the show. And I really like that. I really like these indie comics because they leave like little notes at the end. Like there's a whole big letter. Long story short, the reason why he wrote this was because his wife is a person with like a degree on like about global warming, and then she had to like, I don't want to say sacrifice, but she chose to, you know, them to start their family and have his son. And then where she kind of slowed down about her career, which until probably whenever the baby's the kid's a kid, not a baby no more, she'll probably jump back into her career. But the idea that she, with all the knowledge that she has, was given to him, and he created a story to help, you know, anyone who reads that about global warming. And it's really cool to see a lot of political hot takes are going into comic books and getting these portrayals to help either open up an ear, open up an eye to these affairs. And so you can also understand it more than just saying words and like having those, like, you know, snake oil sellers of politicians talking about it. But I want to just give kudos to the Boom Studios Eve. It's only on issue 1. Go check it out. Just want to give you my tip of the hat. Great job. But we are here now for the Black Cotton issue 2 review. Of course, the writers are Brian Hawkins and Patrick Foreman. And of course, this is published out of Scout Comics. More just, sorry, I'm not going to give the whole team again, you know, a pat on the back. But you guys did a great job again on this issue. And I'm trying to do it not spoilery since it doesn't come out till Wednesday. So again, this is the 10th. Like we always do, we got a little early, so we get to do a little spoiler-free review. And issue 2 is definitely, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It, without, you know, I'm not going to try to spoil the whole story besides the idea of Black Cotton is about a universe that involves the hierarchy of race is flipped, where black people are the majority and white people are minorities in America. And also, just more give me a little plug. You guys can also go to the Cousin Cecil's bonus episode I did with Brian and Patrick and talk about issue 1 to get a little bit more of lore and stuff of the show, or the book, and all that fun jazz. But issue 2 is definitely, I'm going to, like I said, 7 out of 10, and it is definitely one of those issues that it's not moving the full story forward just yet, but it is widening the plots of the story before it starts taking the steps forward. And I mean that without, you know, spoiling it. It involves like, hey, what is the community's view of Zion and this awful incident that happened with a police shooting? What is his sister's views of what happened with what Zion's actions at the shooting. It also shows like what's his little brother views on this shooting. It also shows that very, very minusculely that his father and mother are going to be using their power to get what they want. And it's very well done. The artwork, just like the first issue, excellent. I love this style of the black and white, thick markerish art that makes you feel like it could be. You can take a panel of it and put it on a wall for graffiti in the sense of like it has like that great urban art style. And then I would also say for just if I had to put a negative on the book itself, it would only be I think it'd just be the idea of, as a new reader, not even a new reader, as a current reader of it, maybe just playing a little too safe. But again, I'm not going to, it's hard to say that on a comic when you're reading it issue by issue. Now, if I said that when the whole trade comes out, so you get to see the full story, maybe somebody will see it down the road that I agree. But, on issue 2, it is very good, but obviously I think it plays a little hairpin safe for the topic at hand that involves police brutality, or not brutality, but, police shootings and all that stuff. But again, it does some really good plot tension that's not moving the story forward just yet, but it's building it up so that when the two cars of plot come and they're going to crash, it looks like it could be really good. And then also for not a negative, because I don't want to put it like that on a review time, but I just more so that whoever hears this, maybe if anybody could go to talk to Scout Comics, the publishers, could they push the idea of, instead of using their own website as their digital comic, I guess, read station, or like how I use Comixology, their issues are not on Comixology. They put their trades on Comixology, but I want to help, I think it's support. I want to support some of these ones that are not getting the limelight that I think they should get, just because Scout Comics is they seem very into. They have some really cool web exclusive variants. Again, that's where they get their digital comics access, and they also do this monthly subscription where I think it's like $33 and you get basically all the issues of that month of Scout Comics on a quote unquote deal. Cool, but I'd like to, if you're going to do digital comics, at least give it out to everybody. Let Comixology have access to it so that I can buy it through Amazon. The idea of I can use Amazon fake money to buy your thing too. That's all about it. Again, it's a good read. I want to just more congratulate Brian and Patrick again. I'm more happy to know that also Black Cotton is now going to be monthly. Not that they weren't planning on, but the idea of how Scout Comics sets it up, it gives them a delay before they start pushing it out by actual monthly releases, so they can get a feel of the audience. So, again, I'm looking forward to next month's issue of Black Cotton issue 3. And then, of course, if you follow Brian or Patrick, but, Brian's been definitely the pusher at the moment of Black Cotton news. You can see also like the covers for issue 4. It looks really good. I think it's going to be a very interesting series, and I can't wait. Thank you guys again for letting me get it early. And yeah. All right. And now we're going to get into that's about it, actually. Let's get out of here. Let's get into some hot pick. We'll start off with our usual favorite, comics, for hot picks. And Marvel, just more, not saying there's not comics, but I like to always say in issue 1s for the big ones. X-Corp #1 comes out this week. For DC, there's a Festive of Heroes special. Now this is going to be $10 because it's like an 80-page big like salute to basically like the Asian descendant heroes. And also this will have like the first appearance of the Monkey Prince, which is going to be the DC's like newer, like, I don't want to say Asian American, but obviously that's how I talk. Asian descendant hero, using obviously a little bit of the words, or not words, the lore of like the actual Monkey King lore from China. There's also, what did I just see? Drawing a blank. Issue 1 of... there is a Justice League book called Justice League The Last Ride. And I'm not sure exactly what the story's about. It just obviously is issue 1. I wonder if it's going to be their... Because it's hard to say that now because of how they switch Infinite Frontier. I wonder if this is going to be like a last like call for that band of hero, the team. Because obviously it's like the original Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Since Justice League with Brian Michael Bendis has a different team set up. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's also just a cash grab in the sense of they just want to do another story with obviously the classic original team. For Image, I just want to say Time Before Time issue 1 comes out. I'm not saying I don't know anything about it besides I saw that it got a perfect 10 on a review already. And then just more because I think it's interesting to see a independent book do this. But issue 1 of the Department of Truth by James Tynion IV is on its 5th printing of issue 1. And that's some big shoes to fill for a indie comic to get up to that height. So, that's just really cool for me to say. And more of a fling, but it just seems interesting. Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, in the Collegius Safe. Just seems a little odd. That's a very indie title. I don't even see off the cover. I don't even see who's making that one. But, just that time to get into some detective comics. And then for movies and TV, I think TV is going to be That Damn Michael Che, the sketch comedy show that's on HBO. I watched the whole season. It's very excellent. It's hilarious. The first one obviously goes off the cuff and just starts talking about cops, and it has some of like all episodes have like there's some SNL alum, but I think it's more it highlights some of the New York comedians that are out there that are, dealing with the pandemic. So I was really glad to see them get quote unquote work for this season. And it's very great. It's only, I think they're only like 22-minute long episodes and only 6 episodes. You probably hour and a half, get you out of there, or 2 hours and you get out of there. It's pretty great. And for music's going to be In My Feelings, T Grizzly, Quavo, and Young Dolph. But yeah, again, thank you guys for always coming up on whenever you guys pick up my next episode. Just more behind the veil. Don't let this 1 week of no bonus episodes fool you. Still coming down the pipe. Just obviously just been a busy week, and then all that fun jazz. In fact, I'll just say it because I'm getting more confident in saying something that hasn't happened yet, that it'll still become reality. Because that's just a big pet peeve of mine. I am going to be talking to one of this 2020's Video Game Awards feature class. I forgot his name off the get-go because of just how my brain works. And his name is, I know he's a teacher out of New York. And it is Zachary Hartzman. And he's one of the future class. He was in the same class of like Blessing and I don't want to say the guy's name, but the Spawn on Me character. So, but this one is actually not like saying that about those guys, but this guy's actually trying to do something different for using video games. He's the teacher who's made a curriculum using video games as his like learning items. That's going to happen down the road sooner than later. You might, we'll see how the conversation goes. Either they're going to come on next Monday's episode to hear it, or it'll be just a bonus episode coming out. But we'll see how well the conversation goes, and you know how I did with Ariel Knight. Hey, I still got comic books set up out the wazoo to talk to. There's a gentleman just obviously, there's a gentleman who has a Kickstarter right now for Damsel from Distress, and Distress is all abbreviated like the Man from U.N.C.L.E. show, because it's obviously about secret agent back in medieval time. But I read the first issue. That was very good. If you want to follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93, and you'll see me always retweet this shit I'm talking about. I also got another gentleman that has a new comic coming out with that basically involves like a buddy cop thing, but also involves Meryl Streep or something. Well, I'm looking forward to that conversation. And of course, I got Mr. Brian Hawkins coming back. Not talking about Black Cotton, which of course was supposed to be this Monday or Wednesday's episode. It's just about the idea of anybody who's listened to my episodes. If you've ever had a thought of like wanting to write a comic book, do you know how to do that? Or how much responsibility goes on the writer / the script? That's why I'm having Mr. Brian come on, and we're gonna kind of just more talk about how it's set up. How do you get into the comic book world, or like the idea? What are things you have to remember when you want to express your thoughts into a comic book formula? But yeah, again, Twitter at MikeFowler93. I'll keep you posted on stuff, and if you can start reading through the lines of how I retweet and shit, you might see who might be coming on the show more, or coming up. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch you next week. Be good to each other, and peace.